Hi art students. Today we're going to do Godzilla of the Week and then we're going to get right into our art. Okay, so the votes were only 2 for Godzilla 54, 12 for Godzilla 62, 14 for Baragon. Baragon's the winner. And Legion only got 11. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you Baragon is the ultimate winner, so I'm going to show you Baragon today. Then next week we're not going to have a quiz because it's a lot to keep track of. So I'm just going to do the second place winner, Godzilla 1962, and I'll show you him next week. So today is Baragon, okay? And then next week, no voting. Okay, so here he is. Here's Baragon. He's huge. So he's pretty cool. You can see he's much larger than the other ones. Look at this cool, like, dinosaur spine detail. You got a lot of, and look, you got this kind of grid texture. It looks really good. Grid texture on his belly. Looks pretty sweet. The cool thing about these models is that they based them, like they researched the original costumes. These were costumes, and they got these like very close, and they look really good. So like this would have been really hard to do if this was like 5 feet tall. So that's why they kind of have this simple texture stuff like the grid and stuff, and it looks pretty cool. That's why they kind of look goofy sometimes. These were hard to make back in the day. This is like from like the 1960s. So that's like, how many years ago is that? 60 years ago? It's a long time ago. So anyways, I think Baragon had his own movie maybe, but he was also in Destroy All Monsters, which is pretty sweet. He was on Monster Island. So, see eye detail? Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty sweet. I can't I can't figure out. Oh, there, right. Eye detail. Okay, focus, focus. It's not focusing. Oh well. Anyways, that's Baragon. He's pretty cool. Okay. Let's get on to the art portion of today. Hi, 5th graders. We're working on Kaleidoscope, and we're going to very carefully draw a design and repeat it all the way around, and then we're going to color it in the weeks to come, and we're going to end up with something like, here's some finished examples so you can look at. So if you're creative, it might look like anything, although you're not 100% sure on what it's going to look like, because we're just going to draw a piece of it, but as we go around the circle, it will create unique shapes like this center shape, and sometimes you just don't know what that's going to look like. So here's some other examples. Once we draw it, you're going to use, marker. Marker works best. If you have color pencils, you can use color pencil. Let's see, this one's a color pencil. Actually, this one looks like crayon. So it just has to be neat. There's marker. Well, that was weird. The color switched. Anyways, so by making a wedge shape, a little design, it's going to repeat around that circle. Here you can see. So this would be like the wedge that we're going to draw. It's going to repeat, 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 and it's going to create this interesting kaleidoscope design. We're going to draw it and we're going to color it neatly. Now, we actually have 3 weeks to work on this. That's a long time. So you want to make sure that it looks really well done. You're going to take your time on your coloring. You're going to trace it and put some effort into it. It's going to look great. Okay, so for today, though, let's talk about what we have as supplies. So you got this thin, let's see here. Yeah. You have this thin circular paper. You don't have to cut it out yet. In fact, that might help protect it when you bring it back to school, like these corners might get bent. Eventually, we're going to cut that out, but not until the end. You can let me and Mrs. Curry cut that out. So, But anyways, you're going to have this circle paper. You're also going to have this wedge. It's very thin, so you have to be careful. This can tear and you can go through it, right? And then another thing you need is kind of a dull, well, a number 2 pencil. And you don't want to be you don't want to be super sharp. Like that's not dull, but it's going to get dull. You don't want to be like a super fine point. If it is a fine point, you'll get another piece of paper and you'll just kind of scribble it, but not on this paper. A different piece of paper, you'll scribble it so that it's kind of like dull. Wow, that's blurry. Good job, camera. Wow, okay. So this is working pretty good. And then what you're going to do is, and I'll show you step by step, but you're going to draw like on your wedge, you're going to draw like 1/8 of your design. So you know, whatever's going to be in the center, you know, you're going to have a little shape there. You know, you're going to have shapes on your side, right? And then once this is drawn, and I'll show you how to do it, then we're going to flip it around, flip it and draw it and trace it. And then we'll kind of fill it in. We'll trace it all the way around. When we do that, it'll look kind of like this. And then what we'll have to do is you'll kind of go in and kind of trace your lines a little better, because it probably they won't come out this good. Like they'll kind of like, see how this line is kind of, it's like a partial line, and you have to go in and kind of continue it and finish it. But that's okay. I mean, you can do that. So, but the first step is to create your design on your wedge, and you want to put a lot of detail on it. You don't just want to do a couple things and like, okay, I'm done. No way. You can. It's easy to remember. We're tracing this thing, so it's not like you have to draw like amazing lines and details. So, but here's one example of what we're going to use to trace. So we trace it, and then we like flip it over, and I'll show you what this means. And then we'll like trace it again, right? And then we'll fill in that line. Okay. So, step 1, we have our wedge. And you want to come up with some, let's see, I wonder if I got a better background here. Let me find a better background. Yellow is not good. I don't know, let's try this thing. Here, you might be able to see this a little better. There, you can see my wedge a little better. Okay, so the first thing is we want to draw a design on this. Why is that autofocusing? Do not autofocus. Is it right here? Is this the best place? I have a new tripod set up, so let's see how well or not how well this works. So you want to keep in mind what's going to repeat, and it could be whatever you want. It could be zigzags, it can be hills, humps, it could be circles, it could be diamonds. Okay, so and then whatever's in the center, I'm gonna do like and it could be anything. It can be like round, or it can be like this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do like a and you can do whatever you want. I'm just doing so like when this repeats, it'll be like a star. Because you want to kind of imagine, what's this going to look like when it goes all the way around? Okay, and I guess I'm going to do some kind of like a diamond shape. Let's see here. Maybe like a Christmas tree diamond shape. Yeah. But remember, you can do whatever you want. So decide what you want to do, right? So I got that diamond shape. And you want to have something on the side. And when you have a design on the side, when it goes off on this side, you want it also to kind of continue off this side as well. So maybe I've got like I'm trying to think of variety. So I have an angular shape here. I'm going to have like a kind of a rounded shape here. There. So that's like 3. Now what you want to try to do though is, you want to try to match this. Like you want this to kind of match over here. Because what's going to happen is this side will eventually connect to this side. So whatever goes off this side comes in on the other side. So this goes off and it comes in. So I want to try to match that. Like, oh, Mr. Smith, that's hard. You'll do fine. You can kind of measure like, okay, that's about right here. Kind of goes in. It's hard. I got this tripod. Oh, look, that's already wrong. That's okay. I think I got it. My tripod is in the way. Let's see, this is bigger than that. That might be okay though. It'll just be kind of a weird shape. Now I definitely need something on the bottom here. So let's see, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna kind of come in and then I'm gonna have like that. But I want to have this similar thing come in on this side. It's kind of like a zigzag. So like this is, it kind of starts, let's see, it kind of starts here. So that means it's also going to start here. So let's see, I'm going to go there. So this exits and it also enters on the same spot. That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part about it. Once you kind of have these shapes in place, you want to add more detail. You're like, oh boy, that's a lot, Mr. Smith. No way, not even close. Like I can add a lot more detail to this. But remember, you want to start with the basic shapes that exit and enter, right? So I kind of have those shapes. I got like this shape, it exits and enters over here. I got this shape. I got this shape. This is going to be like a spiral on the in the center. Okay, and then this shape is in the middle. Now the shape in the middle, oops, I bumped my cord. The shape in the middle can be whatever you want because it doesn't exit or enter. It doesn't have any of that complicated stuff, but it will repeat. So you want to think about what you're going to have in the center of your wedge, right? You can think different shapes. Like here's my other example. Notice that I tried to have a variety of stuff. Like I had like curved line, like here's a curved line, curved lines, but then also like angular lines too, like they go to a point. So I have a lot of, and then in circle, I have just basic shapes too. This is kind of like a puzzle piece shape. You could totally do something like that. Like that's totally fine. But you can tell how this one's way more detailed than this one. Like I need more for this. This one's not complete. So let's see what I want to do here. I want to do, maybe I'll just do a diamond in here. Let's see, I'm going to do, how about this? I'll do like a diamond, maybe a circle in here. And then, or I'm a square. Remember, I'm making this up. You're going to make up your own wedge. Like, don't copy me exactly. Whoa, autofocus. We're good, autofocus. Maybe I want to have like a, I'm running out of room here. Maybe I'll have like a triangle here. Triangle here. Okay. Then maybe, maybe I want to have some lines that double up. So let's see, I'm going to do something in here. I'm going to have, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have like a little diamond shape here. That's kind of the easiest, probably most fun thing to do is whatever's on the tip, because that'll be in a spiral. Okay. I still need more. I don't have enough. Let's see. Maybe I want to have this will be like a box. And it's looking better. Let's see. I need, remember, whatever you do, the lines they're going to be bolder too. So don't, add detail. I have a feeling you're not going to add enough detail, so more detail the better. Let's see, I have some space here, so I want to add something. Maybe I'll just do it. I don't know if I want to do a triangle. I guess I'll just do a triangle. Well, okay, triangle. I'm going to do an arrow. 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 Okay, that's filling up pretty good. I'm gonna do another stripe thing there. That's looking pretty good. Boy, I want to add more, but I'm not. Okay, so that's it, pretty good. So I have my basic drawing, but what happens is I'm using my number 2 pencil. Number 2 is basically just a generic pencil. So if it's close to number 2, that's probably fine. But number 2 is pretty generic. You'll find it everywhere. My pencil line tip is getting it's broader, right? It's not so pointy, and that's good. Now, what I want to do though is I want my lines to be thicker. I want to have pencil lead, kind of like, I want this line to be kind of bolder and more pencil lead, because what's going to happen is I'm going to put it on my paper, I'm going to turn it upside down, and then trace it kind of firmly with kind of firm pressure. And what will happen is that pencil lead will kind of leave a mark. And then it'll leave a mark of my design. And that's what I want to do. So you definitely have to do this. So just drawing it is not enough. You need to like add some good pencil lines. So let's see here. I'll show you. So it's going to be like pencil lead is what it is. So you want your line to be thicker. not thin, right? And that's okay, it'll make it easier to do. Now currently I'm not pressing down too hard, I'm just adding, see, I'm making all my lines thicker. Watch, I'll show you. Like, you'll be able to tell the difference. Like, this is very important. Ooh, I got too I got too bold there, but that's okay. I don't think too bold will be a problem. I think it's better to be too bold with your line than not bold enough. And it's really important for the first time you do this, because what's going to happen is the more you trace this line, the more it's going to get bolder anyways. It's going to get thicker and bolder. But for the first one, it really matters. So I'm going to get this line nice and thick here. Get a lot of that pencil lead, right? That's what's going to leave the mark. Oops. I could have drawn anything in here, right? Maybe you had a better idea. It's totally fine by me. Okay. Oh, and I got these lines. Okay. Whoa, I got really bold there. That's okay. That's good. You want to be bold. You want your lines to be broad. Finally this. The more smeary your, well, you don't want them to be smeared yet, but the more, that's why number 2 is good, number 2 pencil. If you get like a different pencil that doesn't have, I don't think you'll have a problem, because number 2 pencils are everywhere. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's see, do I want this a little? So all my lines, I like really made them bold and thick and broad. Let's see. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so I'm ready. And remember, your design might be totally different. Like this one's, well, this one's similar, but it's different. Remember, this is going to be your motif that repeats around your pattern. Okay, so I got it. Here we go. See what we got here. Now here's what you're going to do. It's kind of tricky. What's going to happen is I'm going to place this face down on my white circular paper, and you want to put it an edge on one of these 4 lines, right? You'll notice that you can fit 2 wedges in each, whatever. There's 4 quarters, right? So here's my first quarter, and I can fit my edge twice in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace it in here, and I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to trace this, right? Okay, so let me show you. So eventually, this design, like, it's going to be traced on both sides. Like, so watch, here you can see this one. See, it's on both sides. It's not that way yet, but it will be. So you place this side, the pencil side, you place it down on your paper. Then this is where you want to add some pressure. You really want to press in. You want to press in on where those lines are, and it's going to leave a mark. Now, it may not leave a perfect mark. That's why it's very important that these lines are broad. There's lots of pencil lead there. Okay. Okay, and you do want to press down kind of hard. So maybe you don't want to be, if you have a nice soft wood table, like, don't do this on a soft wood table. Maybe put like a cardboard underneath it, or just maybe a couple other papers. A couple other papers will probably help. Okay, so here I go. So remember, pencil is face down, and I'm going to trace this. Okay, here we go. You want to press down firmly. You don't want to rip the paper, right? If you rip, not that hard, but you do want, I'm pressing down pretty hard. pretty hard. Your goal is to press down hard, but not to rip the paper. You're like, I don't know how to do that, Mr. Smith. I know. And you just got to be careful and not too fast, right? You don't want to go too fast. Notice that I'm also bolding my lines here because I'm going to use this side very soon. I'm going to flip my paper over. Okay. So these lines need to be bold too. Both sides need to be bold. Okay, so I'm trying to make them as bold as possible. Okay, so I got this one. Okay. And remember, you gotta press down. Try to keep your paper down too, because it kind of moves. Like your little wedge tries to move. So just try to keep it in the same spot. Okay, so that's good. I didn't say this was easy. It's tricky. So you just want to follow these directions very carefully. If you missed some of what I talked about, you can rewatch the video. You can rewind it to where I start this again, and you can follow again very carefully. Notice how I'm pressing down hard, kind of firmly, more than firmly, I'd say. I'm pressing down pretty hard, but not enough to break my paper, to rip it, right? And I'm being as careful as I can. And I'm also making my lines bold here. That's going to help with, because I'm tracing this like again and again. Okay, next time we're going to trace these lines with marker, right? So a thin marker, like an ultra fine point Sharpie, is best. We use those for our Starbucks doodle. So if you still have that at home, you can use that to trace it. A lot of you returned it, which was good. That's what I wanted you to do. So if you returned it, then maybe you can just find one at home. Oh shoot! I hit the camera. Whatever, it's good enough. I didn't send one home, so just maybe find one from home or get one, or maybe a different thin, dark marker. Okay, here we go. Okay, I got this one. Let's see how well this better have worked. Remember, you really got to press down. You don't just like, oh, I'm going to like trace it. Like, no, like you really got to press down. You're pressing that that pencil lead, and you're really, getting the lines really bold and thick. Okay, so now let's see if this worked. Now, you don't just move it over, you flip it over. So watch, I'm going to flip it over. So see, and you can kind of see those lines there. So watch what I'm going to do. Gonna flip it over. And there you can see, and you want to kind of match it up. So I flipped it over. I didn't just move it over. Although technically that might work. But you flip it over, and you'll notice that it left a mark. Now, it left a pretty good mark. You're like, oh, Mr. Smith, mine doesn't look that good. It just means you have to like really shade and really get that line bold and press down kind of firmly, kind of hard, and it will leave the best mark. Now, if it doesn't leave a perfect mark, what you'll do is you'll go back in later and you'll just kind of trace around this and make it as best you can, right? That's okay. Like see how I just did that? That's legit. Like, see, this line's really thin. You might not even, like, your lines might be broken up and you just have to connect them. Like maybe you have a little bit here and a little bit there. You'll just connect them and just try to draw those very carefully. That's okay. And like, or here you can see like my triangle, like it's not that great, so I'm just gonna trace it. Like you'll have to do that. Okay, so now I'm going on to my next one. Okay, so here I go. So same thing, so here I go, I'm gonna trace everything. Now the tricky part is you might forget, like, so I would just start on the top and then just trace everything and just go down, right? But you wanna do it firmly and really, really kind of get that line bold. Get a lot of pencil lead there. Okay, so let's see here. So I'm really going over it. This is the hardest part. This is like, you can't be impatient. Oh, look, I want to move that up a little more. I want it to match a little better. You can make it match later. Like, see how that doesn't perfectly line up? Later, I'll actually just make it match. But for now, I'm just tracing this thing. Ooh, that didn't match very well at all. Oh, it's because they're different, right? Ooh, my paper's trying to move too. Okay, so again, I'm not just lightly tracing this. I'm really adding a lot of pressure. It's hard. It may not work that way. I mean, it may not work if you don't add enough pressure, and your line has to be bold. It can't be a real thin line. It has to be, like, see how thick that line is? That's all that extra pencil lead, because you got to get when you're tracing, you got to get it right on top of that pencil lead to get it to kind of transfer it. Okay, here we go. I don't know if I did that one yet. I think I gotta do this one. You can maybe even go over it more than once. Like if it didn't work, just do it again. Do it twice until you get a good mark on the underside of your paper. Okay. Is this working? Oh, see, this one didn't work. Okay, so now again, you flip it over like this, right? So I'm going to flip it over. Now let's look at my paper here. You can see it's very light, right? But that's okay. I can see where the shapes go. And then see like I don't know what this is, a little like blobby thing. See how it doesn't like perfectly connect here? Well, when I trace over that, like now it's like I can kind of fix up some of my mistakes. So like on this kind of like on this tip, I can just make it connect, right? That's okay. That's not cheating or anything. And like here you can see I kind of have like a star in the center here. So like I can trace these so that, and I can kind of connect them better. Like you don't have to trace hard on this part. This part you're just making your lines look good. And here's like, I don't know what this is. It's like a little, whatever. It's a stripe, but it curves. So it goes like kind of here. And then I can just make it connect better. Like I'm just kind of connecting it. And then when I do this one, I'll make this one connect better to that. So that's also part of your drawing process for this. Again, look, this doesn't match at all. It's like, whoops. So I'm just gonna make it connect. It kind of comes down here, and then this kind of comes back up, and then I'm gonna make this connect a little better. It's like a blob. Okay, and then this was kind of supposed to connect, so I don't know, it's gonna be like, I'm just gonna make it connect better. There, see? So that is okay. I mean, that's totally what you're supposed to do. I'm going to trace these a little better so that they're darker. Next week, we're going to trace this with a fine point Sharpie. I don't have one on me. But for today, for this week, you want to get a good pencil line. And make sure you put your name on your paper. In fact, you should probably put your name on your paper right now. I have a lot of no names, and so it's hard for me to grade you. It takes me longer to figure out who's who, right? I'm going to lightly trace this one for now because I want to make sure it connects with that next one. But like these triangles I can trace. You're like, oh, why do I have to draw it so many times, Mr. Smith? That's what drawing's all about. Drawing is about like a light sketch or an idea of where your line goes. Then you make your line. Oh, look at that. Does this eraser work? I got a tripod in the way. That's my excuse. You can't see it, of course. It's like right in front of my face. There. Okay. But drawing is not just drawing one line and then it's perfect. You like draw lines, redraw lines, bold them, kind of like what I'm doing here. Like you emphasize them, you know, strengthen lines by tracing over them again. I mean, this is all normal for drawing. You're just not used to it. Okay, so there you can see it's like, wow, that looks pretty cool. It is cool. Oh, shoot, I don't have this guy. Okay, hold on. So it would have been like this. And then I'm going to trace him in there. Let's see if I can find his spot. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. There. So there he is, and then I can just make it neater. Like, if this doesn't perfectly match that one, it's okay. I mean, you want them to be close as possible. And I'm not supposed to have this line here. Oh, here, this eraser will work better. Shoot, not that one. Like, I'm supposed to have a line here. Psh, whatever. I'll erase it better. Okay, well anyways, now I'm on to my next part, right? And that's basically what you're going to do. I'm going to go a little quicker now, and you can fast forward to when I'm done, okay? So I showed you, if you can watch. You can watch me do it again if you think you need to watch it. But remember, and I'll tell you as I go, but like fast forward until I'm done, okay? That way you don't have to watch like 15 minutes of me tracing this thing, right? So I'm just going to do this kind of fast. Remember, you want to press down firmly, kind of hard. You want to carefully make your line bold. I'm not making them as bold this time because I'm hoping that I have enough pencil lead underneath. We'll find out if I need to do it. If I do, then I'm trying to go a little faster because it's going to take it's going to take some time. Don't forget to put your name on your paper. Do it right now. You're going to forget. I forgot to show you to put your name on your paper. It's not my fault if you forget to put your own name. You'll put your name on everything. Okay, let's see if that worked. Yeah, that worked pretty good. Okay, here we go. Don't forget, you can fast forward to when I'm done with this part, because I'm just going to draw these things. It's going to be a long video of me doing this. Maybe I should just cut it out. I'll just cut it out. I'll cut it out after that one. I'll just... I don't want my video... It takes longer for my video to upload if it's like, 50 minutes. I'll cut it out. You know what I'll do is I'll cut it out after this one. Because I want to show you... I'll show you me trying to like connect those lines and trying to make them match. So I'll do that and then I'll cut it out. Okay. So here you can see I have a faint line, but let me just move that out of the way. But I can make them, I can draw over them and match them. So it's like here I've got, here, this one's really light, but it kind of goes like that. You want to be careful when you draw this stuff. Here I've got my blob. I've matched my blob a little better. I don't like my blob, but it's okay. I want like a little detail in there, like little circles or something. I can't even see where this connects. It's going to be like this. Here's my other blob. This is stuff. So that's all we're doing for today. We have 3 weeks to work on this, so don't feel like you have to hurry up and finish this and turn it in. Also, you don't have to show me your progress. Like, we're working on this for 3 weeks. You don't have to show me week 1, week 2, week 3. I just want to see week 3 because as long as you're doing it, you don't have to show me like you're drawing. I mean, unless you have a question, but if you just draw it, I believe you that you did it, and I'm sure it looks great. You don't have to show me week by week. Just show me week 3. You'll show me the finished one, and send it to school, you know. But if for some reason you can't send it to school, like you're remote, then you can take a picture of it and send it to me. But only do that on the 3rd week, okay? Don't forget, put your name on the back. Name on the back of your paper, and that's it. So this is tricky to do. If you can't get this to work very well, watch the first part of the video again and maybe have a parent help you. I mean, it's tricky. It can be tricky. I mean, maybe I made it look easy. Sometimes it doesn't trace, like when you press down, it doesn't leave that much of a mark. But as long as you can kind of tell where it is, like you can connect the lines and make it, like I basically had to do that for my whole thing. Like it doesn't perfectly trace it. You just, you finish it. Like you have that kind of the broken up kind of vague outline, and then you connect your lines and make it look better. And then you can kind of make things, you can fix things too. Like this didn't connect very well. I just make it connect there. And I can very carefully erase, you know, any kind of mistakes. So that's all we have to do. Be careful with this paper. Save it for next week, and next week we'll use marker. Okay? So have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.